Welcome to Sex Afflictions and Porn Addictions. I am your host, Craig Pera from themindfulhabit.com. I am the founder of the Mindful Habit System, the world's #1 online, at-home program for men struggling with sex addiction and porn addiction and their partners. And today we're going to talk about anger and the coronavirus. Really important topic. And thank goodness I have a special guest. He is our resident expert. He is a psychologist in his home country of Poland, a graduate of the University of Adam Mickiewicz with a master's in clinical psychology, recovery coach, and his most greatest achievement, certified as a mindful habit coach. He's my brother, my best friend, Adrian Strobinin. Welcome, brother. How's it going, my man?
Welcome, Craig. Thanks for having me. It's great.
I'm so glad that you are safe in Poland.
Yes. We have a lockdown right now. There are many new, I would say, rules that we have to apply to, but fortunately, I'm not falling sick so far.
Good. Let's keep it that way. That's my rule. If you don't have corona, you want to keep it that way. We need to do it for the people who need the medical care, the people who need the treatment. Listen to the doctors, not the politicians. And today we're going to talk about anger. And we have to talk about anger because domestic violence is up. Child abuse is up. Alcoholism is up. When we say domestic violence, the statistic, child abuse, it's the statistic. I want everybody who's experienced some pain and trauma in their lives to just reflect for a moment and recognize that means that people are in pain, the anger and the angry. Adrian, what are you seeing in your life, maybe personally, how you're relating to anger and in the lives of your clients?
Well, I just want to mention that in Poland, that statistic is 40% higher than before the lockdown. So there is a 40% rise in domestic violence in our country, and it has become a huge issue because many people are locked with their abusers, right? And that becomes a life or death situation for many of those people. So the times are dire, definitely. In my own life, I'm not experiencing as much anger, but I'm noticing that I'm getting more irritable, that I respond to things faster, I tend to snap faster, get irritated by things, and I have to do much more mindfulness. Usually, I think that yesterday, a couple of days ago, my cats were really irritating me, and usually I'm patient with them, but they were just like jumping on the bed and waking me up before 7 a.m. And I was just very tired from work, and I felt like I just want to kill them. I just want to drop them out of the window, and finish them. But what I learned from that is that right now everybody is experiencing those feelings. Even I'm trained. I'm doing this self-healing work for many years, and even I'm experiencing that to some degree. So I can imagine that everybody's there.
Yeah. What I've noticed about me is I've trained myself to, whenever I clench my fucking jaw, that means I'm uncorking. That means I'm about to say something that I regret. I have a childhood relationship with anger, saw anger, and so it's right there. It's right underneath the surface, and so I've had to practice more trigger response plans. Like the frequency of the jaw clenching has increased, and I definitely had more opportunities where I had to step back and embrace silence, which is so hard when that anger is uncorking. And so everybody's feeling it. There is no shame, and that's why I want to share with you, what Adrian's experiencing. He wanted to kill his cats. I'm getting the tongue on my jaw, like in my mind, it's like I get why child abuse is up. Like I can in that moment I can understand exactly that statistics, and if it wasn't for significant training, I probably would have lashed out and hit my kids, right? It's not something I've ever done, but I can understand how someone can do it when they are in that place. So let's talk about this. I thought was interesting when I saw your outline for this podcast is the different parts about anger. Let's talk about that now, please. Tell me what are the different parts of anger?
Sure. I think that what's important is to see that anger is a feeling, right? But the feeling is built from many different pieces, and we can see those pieces as a tree almost. So there are roots of anger, something that is lying behind the situation, the unmet needs, the underlying causes. Like for example, you're getting more angry with your children because you're worried about losing your job, or you're getting more irritated because you're isolated and you don't have enough social connections, right? So there are some important underlying causes and unmet needs that are causing us to get angry in the first place. And I think it's important to realize that right now, many of those things are present for most of the people. We are locked. It's an unusual situation. There is no place to vent. We can't go out. Jobs are just very unstable. The markets are very unstable. So many things are happening that we may respond to with anger. So these underlying causes are the first thing that we have to notice. Yes, there is something going on. I have to make sure that I meet that need in my life so I don't get even more frustrated, so I don't lash out at my children. So the number one is roots of anger. Second part is trunk of anger. You may see it as a tree. So there is a trunk. And the trunk of anger is expression of anger. So it's important to know that anger is not good or bad. It's just a feeling like happiness, like excitement, like sadness. There is nothing wrong with feeling angry. We may believe that there is something wrong with being angry because this is what we were taught in our families. For example, that it's inappropriate to get angry, or that we don't deserve better treatment from others, or that anger only will damage the relationship with the significant other and they will leave us. What were your scripts in family regarding anger? I know in me it was I couldn't get angry. It was inappropriate. I don't know about you, Craig, what you had.
Yeah, explosive anger.
So scary. Scary.
Anger is bad. Anger is hurt. Anger is pain. Anger is bad. Anger is out of control.
Right. So when we have those family of origins scripts, right, something that we've learned as children, then later on we may not allow ourselves to express anger at all, or we express anger in a way that is very destructive, right? It's scary. It's out of control, like you mentioned. So it's important to learn healthy expressions of anger, and the trunk of anger is how we express it. We may express it in a way that creates more, I would say, communication. It creates bridges between people. It resolves issues. It's empowering. Or we can communicate anger in a way that is disempowering, that is destroying relationships, or that is even threatening physical or mental safety of people around us, right? So those expressions are very important, and they can be very different.
And most of those expressions for people are, most people haven't thought of them, or if they thought of them, they were forced to think of them because the consequences were so significant. And one of my favorite expressions over the years that I really love around anger, and that applies to so many people, is the bigger the anger, the smaller the inner child. And when you peel back, what's driving the anger? Why anger and not annoyance or frustration or sadness or other feelings? What is it about the anger? The anger is from this perception that you are out of control, you're losing control. So often anger is is big and bold, and it shuts down opponents. It gives you control. Your voice is instantly heard. You are instantly significant when you are angry. Look at me. I am angry, motherfucker. Anger. Look at me, anger. You want to do it your way? Now we do it my way.
Yeah.
So that anger is a mask. And when you peel away that layer of the mask, you got family of origin, you got terrible programming, you've got insignificance. And so that's why what Adrian's talking about here, guys, and gals, not just guys who get angry, but I know a lot of guys are listening, is you've got to create an outlet. That means you've got to be proactive. And how do you express it? How do you express it in a way that serves you, right? Because you want to use it, because it is going to happen, right, Adrian? There's no universe where maybe the monks don't get angry, but I don't know anybody who doesn't get angry. Everybody I know gets angry despite incredible work on themselves.
Yeah, I think that it's also perfectly human to get angry. Like I said, it's a feeling, just like boredom, happiness, excitement. So those feelings are going to come up. And they can be huge even. And there's nothing wrong with feeling huge anger, but it's important to learn how to express that anger in a way that doesn't destroy, right? Like what you talked about, like this situation when you want to take control and you're big and bold and you're kind of like just attacking others. That is a very unhealthy expression of anger that happens for many people when they are experiencing this very strong emotion. So what we have to focus on is not to not feel angry, but to learn how to express that energy in a constructive way, right? And that's what we're going to talk about in a minute, how to work with anger, how to express in a way that doesn't harm yourself, your family, your relationships in general. But before that, I just want to speak about the last part of anger. You mentioned one thing that's very important, consequences, right? Like, what are the consequences of anger? And that's the last part of the anger tree. There is fruit of anger, right? So at the end of the tree, there are fruits. And that fruit of anger are results of your anger. And those results can create more anger in future. Imagine that you are shouting at somebody, yelling at somebody, let's say your child or spouse. They may shut down. They may start yelling back. They may act out, or there may be something else happening that makes you even more furious, even more angry. So it's like self-fueling cycle. That's why it's so important to also know the results of our anger, that there will be results always of our actions. And some of them are not going to help us. Some of them are not going to resolve the problem that we're angry about.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. And I want to tee up this next part. This next part, we're going to talk about some practical tips that you can use to regain control, to channel that anger in a way that brings value to your life. I said it before. I want to say it again. Anger is a gift. I listen, I want you to, you've trusted me, you're listening to me, you've subscribed to this podcast, and there's some of you out there, I know the heads are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Anger is a gift. Look at the damage that it has done to my life and that it continues to do to my life. All of my worst moments were punctuated with anger. It has brought me to my knees, and that is the size and the scope of the opportunity. That is the size and the scope of opportunity. If you learn from anger, if you dive in right to that angry point and grow and change, the impact is so massive. So there's anybody who's getting angry has before them an incredible opportunity to change their life, to change the lives of the people around them that are receiving the anger. It is a gift. So let's talk about what people can do to address this natural human emotion that we all have.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to mention something that you talked about. So just understanding where the anger comes from and being proactive about meeting our unmet needs is very important in terms of preventing the anger from occurring or expanding over time. And it can be a very healthy way of dealing with it. So you have to just sit for a moment and ask yourself, where does this anger come from? What am I really angry about? And quite often we see that I'm angry because things don't go our way. I am angry because there are interruptions in my work, or I'm angry because I'm afraid. Actually, the stuff that you mentioned, there are other emotions hidden behind anger. So it's important to talk with yourself a little bit about where does it really come from. Then we can take an action that actually helps us. That's one of the methods. It requires a lot of insight, but there are other tools that are helpful that I want to mention right now. And one of them is releasing your anger. And releasing means sharing with somebody that you are angry, talking about that, but not in a way that most people do it. Most people are venting. Venting is the rehearsing your anger. You're just repeating the same thought pattern, and you may feel even more angry after venting. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I've seen that in our work. Many guys are venting about their situation with partners, and it seems like it's never ending story. They come back to the same topic, and they get even more angry, even more frustrated over time. So that venting is not serving any function for them. It's not releasing anger, it's increasing anger, right? So super important to learn how to just release it. And releasing means that you are not blaming anybody. You're not trying to just be in that place where you're powerless, you can't do anything about it, and it's everything is about others. That's venting. But when you are taking responsibility for your actions and you're sharing your feelings with others, that's releasing anger. I am feeling angry right now because I noticed that, I don't know, my cats destroyed my plant, and I know I didn't take care of that plant, and I'm angry at myself and at them, right, at this point. So this is an example of releasing anger. How can you just speak about it without punching somebody, or, I don't know, beating yourself up? Also, beating yourself up, self-deprecation is a form of anger.
One of the techniques that I like, Adrian, in support of that is having a conversation with anger. So what Adrian's talking about, okay, really got it, venting isn't releasing it. How do I release it? Is talking to yourself, giving that part of you a voice. Because see, that part of you represents an unmet need. There's a need not being met. If there was, you wouldn't be angry. And so by talking to that part, it's really helpful, because it helps accomplish the unmasking. It helps you get at the original, the feeling, the root cause. It helps you identify, the fears that are coming up with anger. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sure. I think that this is a very important part of releasing anger. Also, I have like couple tips for, just in the present moment, because all that soul searching we can do later on after the situation is uncharged, right? Discharged.
Yes.
But in the moment, we have to do something to prevent us from lashing out. And there are a couple of things that we can do. First of all, you have to start notice that you're getting angry. Very often we are unaware that we're getting angry. You notice that you mentioned clenching your teeth, right? As something that makes you know that you're getting really angry. Talking quickly, your heartbeat is faster, you feel hot, flushed, sweaty. Oh my God, I'm feeling all of those symptoms, but I'm not angry. I'm a little bit anxious because of speaking on screen. But this is something that you have to notice, right? This is something that you have to notice for yourself. What are feelings? And your body is going to tell you about your feelings. So if you notice that, you can do a couple very simple things. Unclench your jaw. Start to talk slower. Breathe deeply. Mindful breathing. It will slower your heartbeat. Try to maybe take 5 minutes out. Just go out to a different room. Relax hands. If your hands like that, relax them. Relax the muscles. Engage in some kind of physical activity. If you have this energy, I'm going to beat somebody up right now. Just push-ups. I love push-ups in these situations. I'm just doing 20, 30, 50 push-ups, and I'm just feeling like, okay, now I'm done. I don't have to, react. I don't have to act out in that situation. And mindfulness, visualization, any relaxation technique that you're having. If you can take those 5 minutes for yourself, just physically remove yourself from environment and try to relax your body and mind for a moment. You can even repeat a mantra. I can handle this. I did that before. I know my kids frustrated me thousands of times before, and I know I handled that, so I can handle this situation as well. because parents are often frustrated. I'm not a parent myself, that's why I'm speaking about cats, but I know, Craig, you are a parent. So you know what are the challenges of being 24/7 with your kids, right?
Nobody can push your buttons like the people closest to you. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. There's the opposite side of that love coin is that weakness. Like kryptonite to Superman. There's nobody who can push your buttons like your spouse and your kids. And I know so many parents now with homeschooling, having challenges. My son has a natural tendency to disagree. Like, this is a cup. No, it's a cup. See, look, I'm holding. It's a cup. Everyone can see. Nope. And I'll tell you, man, it is the ultimate mindfulness training. I like to pretend that I'm in a simulation. I'm in a mindfulness simulation. I put the headset on. I'm in the 3D world. And that I'm going to be challenged and pushed in ways like the wife says the most triggering thing she could say to me. She'll call me a liar about one of my kids' homework assignments. Liar. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Dost thou protest too much? That's one of my trigger words. I get angry. And then the kid, doesn't do something he's supposed to do. So I pretend that I'm in the simulation. And I practice all the tools that Adrian's talking about because, see, there's, barring a rigorous multi-year mindfulness practice, you're not going to get rid of anger. And so because you're not going to get rid of anger, right, you have to learn how to respond to it. And by doing what Adrian's talking about, by bringing some structure and discipline, I know we hate those words, but face it, you're going to get angry. And so this is the gift that Corona presents to us. The gift is that we can better manage anger, develop a mindfulness practice, honor our mind, body, and spirit, finally, maybe for the first time in our lives.
Yeah,
and changing your relationship with anger, using it as a trigger to drive positive results in your life, using the feeling of the clenched jaw to signal, another action plan that you use to counterbalance, mandatory, because we ain't getting rid of it, right?
Yes, this is going to be a feeling forever. It's part of human nature, as I mentioned. And I love your examples because, I think best examples come from real life, right? And I think, just training your patients in the way you presented, just having that simulation. I sometimes was saying to myself when I was feeling very triggered in my early recovery, that the universe is presenting a trial for me right now. It's a similar mindset, right? I'm in a trial. Now, everything is getting thrown at me, and this is like a test how I will manage it. So I like this simulation idea. It's really good for having a different mindset and treating it as a challenge and not as a curse, right? Something that you're just stuck with. And most of us are feeling stuck right now at homes. Let's face it, right? There is a lot of intimacy, but sometimes for some people, especially for guys who are struggling with porn, it may be also too much intimacy, and it's important to learn how to come closer and express yourself, but also how to take time for yourself when you need it, right? In order to rebalance. I think that's important. One last thing that I wanted to mention is having realistic expectations. For all the parents out there, I was studying developmental psychology, so I know what are different phases of, development of children. And it's important to see that there are certain reactions that children will have at certain time of their lives, and understanding that can help us have realistic expectations regarding them. It's in my life, I don't know about you, you're going to mention your expectations, Craig, but in my life, realistic expectations, again, I'm going to come back to those cats. I don't like them jumping on the table. When I'm eating, they're jumping on the table, and I'm like, it's not really good for me to eat in front of those cats. They're maybe having something dirty or bacteria or whatever. And they're very often on the table or somewhere else around food. And I was expecting them to not jump, right? To not jump. My expectation was they shouldn't jump. My other cat was never jumping. Why they are doing this? And I was getting frustrated and furious at them because of this. And then I started reading some books about cats, actually, and I started learning that some cats are tree climbers, so they are going to jump, and it's part of their nature. So I think it's also part of children's nature, to come back to the main topic, to contradict parents at certain age, to test the boundaries, right? To have struggles with focusing sometimes, right? They will want to play as well, right? Like, you want to focus on work, they want to play. That's natural. Children are going to be children. I'm wondering if you have any experiences with those kind of expectations and how they can change over time as you're a parent. Because this is your knowledge.
it's one of the things you learn is you've got to meet your kids where they are. And you have all these expectations, right? You have all these expectations. Everybody wants their kids to be happy, to be successful. And, those expectations, they're going to find their way, and it's not going to look like your way. And so, one of my boy has got some challenges, with schoolwork, and he gets a lot of help, and so learning to meet him where he was has been one of the greatest teachings that I've ever received in my life. It really, really has. He's such a talented drummer. He's overcome so many challenges. And my daughter too, and both kids, I gotta say, I feel are really proud of our parenting. They've been wonderful. They've been proactive. They've been amenable to the, lack of the taking technology away for periods of time that we feel are responsible. And so that's awesome. I'm awesome. I think all the work that I've done on myself has helped me be the best father that I can be. And they're going to push. My daughter is going to be dismissive of something that I say, and ego, right? I mean, I am going to be wounded. I am going to be hurt. My patience is going to be tested in ways that I can't even imagine. That I can think about and guess about, but I can't even imagine. And so understanding that and recognizing that, and what you talked about earlier is being keyed into the cues, the teeth crunching, the jaw clenching, fist balling, arms flailing in my response. I've got the flail. Whenever I'm like a bird, the arms are flailing. That's a sign to step back, to take a deep breath, and use the trigger that drove the anger to drive a positive reaction where I remain in control, because anger is out of control. It is so destructive. You're not using it to fight for constitutional rights or fight for freedom or protecting, your family. Maybe there's a place for it. This isn't what we're talking about here. It's making your life worse, and it's an incredible gift, and I continue to use it as one and continue to learn from it, because it is a great teacher.
Yes, and we have the right also to express our anger. It's very important. If you ever felt that you shouldn't be angry or that you shouldn't express it, if you don't allow yourself to express it, you're going to lash out at some point. It's like a volcano. It's going to just go up and up and up, and then you're just, you're exploding, right? So it's super important to express that anger, but like Craig said, to do it in the right way that doesn't destroy, that doesn't create toxic situations at home and in our relationships. So, this would be it. I think we can talk a little bit later on in maybe next podcast about communicating better when we are angry and we are feeling different strong feelings in ourselves. We can talk about communication, but I think in terms of the tips regarding anger, this is all that we're having for now. Any ending words from you, Craig?
No, listen, I just want to thank you, Adrian. It's such an important topic. It is an incredible joy to have you on the team, and to see what these guys are doing in our group coaching program, and supporting each other and leaning on each other is literally bring a tear to your eye experience. I've never experienced anything like this. The fact that I built it, that you helped build it, and we're both so important. And helping these guys has been just a mind-blowing experience. I feel so blessed and privileged. And a couple things. So one, we've reduced the price of the self-study program 80%. Okay, 80%. The coupon code is coronavirus. That'll get you 80% off the self-study program. $99. Normally it's $4.99. Literally the same lessons I'm teaching to my one-on-one clients. That pack, and I'm full. That's a $10,000 package. Our group is our most popular option. But Adrian, you have room for one more one-on-one client for our intensive 12 weeks. So I just wanted to put out there to people, when someone close to me needs help, and I'm not going to work with them because of our relationship, Adrian is the person that I send them to. I mentioned before his qualifications. They are impeccable. In his 12-week program, we want to make it work for guys. We've reduced the price, just one to $2,000. I know that's a lot for some people. That's why we have the group. That's why we have the self-study program. That's why we have the scholarship options for the group. But when it's our time, my time is incredibly valuable. Yours in too, guys. So I just want to, if you're interested, here's what I want you to do. Take this number down and call it. Leave Adrian a message. Make sure you leave your email address. He'll get back to you. But the number is 1-800, so it's toll free, 214-5249. So if you're interested in working with Adrian, whether that be our enhanced accountability program, which is a mini coaching product, it's just the right amount of coaching for the right guy, and our intensive 12-week that mirrors mine, is some guys are looking for that opportunity. So if you're interested in that, call Adrian, 1-800-214-5249. I want to thank you, brother, for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And guys, don't hesitate to reach out. There is not going to be a better time for your recovery. Right now is the time. So I have space for you if you're feeling like you want to really move on and move past your sexual issues. This is the right person to call. Also, you can reach out to my email, adrian@themindfulhabit.com.
Yep.
I'm responding to these emails every single day, so you're going to get response in a couple hours after you send it.
Yep. Adrian, ADRIAN @themindfulhabit.com. Craig Paris signing off. Thank you so much for listening to Sex Afflictions and Porn Addictions. Honored and privileged that you are here, feeding the right wolf and embracing your power of choice. Catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.